You're here, which means that you've found Spirit Crumbs, leading you to your inner light worker. I will be sharing how these tiny little hints from the universe have led me to where I am today. I hope that by hearing my story and the stories of others, you'll pick up your own spirit crumbs along the way that will lead you to somewhere magical. Thanks for coming along for the journey. Let's see where it takes us. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Spirit Crumbs. I am your host, 𝗟𝗲𝘁'𝗀, and I am an artist and a healing energy facilitator. I had a whole episode outlined for today, but in light of what's going on in the world, I just felt like taking a pause. It's been up and down for me. I kind of had moments off and on since Friday, but I just felt today like I needed a bit of a break, but I also still wanted to show up because I've been talking about that as well. And I've been sitting with it throughout the day. And what's been coming to me is the message that I had from Card Pull Friday on Instagram. So some of you may have heard the segment I'm going to play next, which is only 4 minutes. But what I found interesting is that I did the card pull before I found out what was going on in the States with Roe v. Wade. I'm not going to get into detail because I feel like we've seen so much of that in the last few days, and I will come around and talk about it either on Instagram or on here at some point. But I just think for my own mental health and for my well being, I just need to take a little step back today. So the next clip that you will hear is the Card Pull Friday messages. I always pull a numerology card and an angel therapy card. And usually whatever theme is rolling around in my brain before then comes out in the cards and it kind of just blows into a little message. And this was actually one of the shortest ones I've done. It just seemed very clear what the message was. And like I said, that was before I knew what was going on in the world. And it has a lot to do with Cancer season energy and emotions. So that is what you will hear next. And then what came to me throughout the day today was I kept thinking about doing a guided meditation. And I was like, I know I don't have the energy to create one. But then I had this sudden realization that I had made a couple like last year, maybe even at the end of 2020, and I hadn't really done much with them. So I searched on my computer for a few minutes and I actually found one. It's about releasing something and starting new. And that kind of will touch into the next message that you'll be hearing. It actually makes a lot of sense for this to be shared today as well because it's the new moon in Cancer and there's a lot of different astrology happening around that. As you all know, I'm not an astrologer, but I just do pick up on these energies and the themes with them. So I think that's another reason why I'm taking a little pause now and feeling like just being in my emotions. And I just want a reminder, just from the heart, that you need to feel everything that's coming up. These emotions are what help us to transmute the energy of the world and to make changes. If we bypass them and just push them down, then we're not really allowing anything to come to the surface to be healed. And I think as a collective, we can agree that there are a lot of things that need to change. And the more we show one another what we're feeling, the more we feel empowered to share and to have conversations and to start driving change from ourselves and then outward. So I just want to remind you going through this to allow any emotions that come to the surface to come to the surface. I haven't done this meditation myself in a long time. I wanted to just kind of put it out there fresh because you know what it's like when you have been away from something for a while, then you decide to want to start editing. And I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to assume that what was meant to be received will be received. So at the end of Card Pull Friday, you'll hear a little pause. And please, if you're driving, just save the rest of the episode for another time because the rest of it will be the meditation. And the last thing you'll hear me say is take your time. And then there will be a few seconds before the outro starts. So you can pause it at that point if you want to take your time. And in this one, I believe the theme was that you would have an imaginary journal with you on this walk. And so you can choose whether you want to open your eyes and journal at the parts that talk about writing it down, or if you just want to imagine that you're sitting with a book and writing down and just allowing the thoughts to come to you. And then at the end, there will be time where you can pause and journal whatever comes up. So you can decide which way to do it as per usual. And I hope that each of you takes time to do what makes you feel nourished and safe. It is Cancer season now, and I think a lot of us are feeling that shift. I feel like I'm going a little bit more internal and looking at my surroundings at my house more. I have a Cancer moon, so I often like being at home and being in my feelings once in a while. So the first card that we have is 37 time out. And so we've had this card before. It's about taking a pause, giving ourselves time to reflect, and often going within. And because it's a 3 and a 7 together, making a 10, this also can be completing a cycle. So it can be like that last little time between when you finish one thing and you start another thing. It could just be that you need to take a pause in between before you start something new. And then we have emotional sensitivity, and that's our Cancer energy. So it's saying, like, remember that your sensitivity is a gift. It's something that you're able to use that other people don't have access to. You feel your feelings. And I think that's what this time out is for, is when the feelings come up, remember that it's okay to let them move through you, to feel them. And that by you honoring your feelings, you're also showing other people that it's okay to do the same. And I think we've had examples of that in the last few weeks. I think Cancer energy in general just tends to bring out the emotions, makes you want to be at home. And so I think having just that reminder that when they come up, it's okay to let them show. If you are feeling like you normally hold them back, it's okay to let those show and to allow other people to see what it looks like to be a little bit more sensitive. And then, like I said, the time out, just having that time to let it go move through you instead of trying to rush through the emotions and put them aside. It's your body telling you like that you need to fully move through the process. And so keeping that in mind for the weekend and for Cancer season in general, I think. And also, I'm feeling too that there may be particular situations that are coming up that are causing you to have these emotions. And so it's also going back to that reflection energy of if you're kind of at the end, you feel like you're at the end of a cycle and it's time to let go of a job, a situation, a relationship, and it's something that's been coming up a lot. The timeout might also be just like sitting to actually think about what your feelings in your body are telling you about that situation. I did also have the vacuum away fear card fall out when I was shuffling. I feel like that's what this is. It's kind of related to that. So it might be that the emotions that are coming up are fears or things you're absorbing from other people around you. And it's just reminding you that you can call on archangels Michael and Raphael to kind of lift that energy away from you and cut the cords so that you're not carrying that into the new situation. And because it talks about the environment around you as well, this is why I think the timeout energy is interesting, because I think it's asking you to sort of step away from other people or other environments that are causing you to feel that way. And I think too, that could just be the ending of the cycle that you need. Like you need to have that time out before you can make the decision to move forward. And that way you're not bringing it into something else. So I hope that makes sense. It's just feeling like that Cancer energy right now. And I think that we're having a little time out before the summer starts happening and we get busy again. So I hope you're all able to take a few moments by yourself and kind of reflect on what's coming to the surface for you.
Before you get comfortable, I want you to shake your muscles out, give them a stretch, loosen your shoulders, your neck, your hips. Once you feel the tension being released, find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. Close your eyes. Choose a pace for your breathing that flows naturally. Feel a blanket of peace and warmth coming over you like the universe is tucking you in from your feet, up your legs, and all around you. Take a few more deep breaths. Now you become aware as you look down that you are on a park bench holding your favorite journal and your favorite writing utensil. In this meditation, you'll see yourself writing down different parts of your experience. You'll be able to open your eyes at the end and remember everything you've written down to write in your journal with your eyes open. Now, as you're holding these items, you look up and you see that there is a lush forest in the distance and a dirt path for you to follow. This forest is your inner world, the ecosystem inside you with your earthly experiences and your thoughts. As you walk towards the forest, reflect on how you're feeling. What emotions are coming up? What are you trying to suppress? As you enter the forest, you feel as though you are being enveloped in love for Mother Earth. All you see around you is the beauty and richness of this environment. You look up and see the canopy of the large trees above you. Wind rustles through the leaves. Birds are singing. You can hear animals running through the leaves in the distance. Take a moment to sit down on the rock to your right and make a note of anything that's sticking out to you, whether it's an animal, a bird, a sound, a tree. As you get up to start walking again, stop to notice that there are small green saplings all around you. As you look ahead, you see that this continues and that there's lots of new growth on the forest floor. As you continue on the path, you feel a breeze and take in the beauty of this forest where every living thing is valued. Take a look around at the types of trees that you see, the different heights and shapes. You notice that some of the trees are deeply rooted and very tall. Their rough bark and wide trunks tell you that they've been here for many years. Walk over and place your hands on the bark of one of these large trees. Think about something in your life that has been around for a long time, but you need to release. Maybe a limiting belief, a relationship, or a pattern, something that you've identified yourself with that's deeply rooted and may have brought beauty at one time or support, but now it is blocking your new growth from receiving the light that it needs. Write in your journal what this is that you're ready to release. As you finish writing and look back at the tree, you see that its roots are lifting and it is cracked. It is ready to return to the earth and to allow its energy to nourish the new growth that is emerging below. When you are ready, all it will take is one push to set it free. Push it forward towards the ground. Take a seat on the newly fallen tree and allow it to support you one more time. Record how you're feeling and what you think might take its place. Take the time to realize that the forest is full of both stillness and change, and both are necessary for the cycles that the forest experiences. Stand up and walk a bit further into the forest. The path has a lot of brush on both sides now. It's a little muddier. It starts to open up and there are more birds and a few animals that appear. You look at the ground and see a single acorn. You pick it up and marvel at the fact that it has the potential to grow into a mighty oak and withstand many challenges and seasons. Is there a dream or an aspect of yourself that you know in your heart to be a part of your path? Find a spot where this acorn can be planted to receive enough light and water. As you plant it, pat the soil back on top. Take a moment to reflect and realize that just as the tree returns to the earth to allow its nutrients to flow in and nourish the new growth that's emerging, in your life, anything you release makes space for the new things to come, and the energy is just transformed. Continue to write about anything that this brings up for you. When you open your eyes, you can continue to write in your physical journal and transfer any of the things you noted in the meditation. Take your time.
Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Spirit Crumbs. You can find me on Instagram for this podcast at Spirit Crumbs, or you can also find me at Concrete and Crystals for my own spiritual offerings and more tidbits about my own journey. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.